Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. I am working out a few bugs and I am sorry my backdrop is wrinkly. I filmed the whole tutorial and I realized, dang it, I did not iron my backdrop. So next time it'll be on, or actually maybe not next time. I'm going to Arizona for like a month. So I may be able to film one more tutorial here at my house, but I don't know what the situation's gonna be when I get to my parents with my daughter. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, today we are talking about the Tarteist Pro Palette, and I am gonna go ahead and jump into the makeup tutorial part and show you how I created this look. So hopefully that's in the frame, but I love it. I love the bronzy and the deepness to it. I don't normally like browns, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more like pinks and purples and colors, but I really am loving, this is my favorite look out of the whole palette. So I'm gonna tell you how I do that. And then since it is the first impressions video, at the very end, I'm going to be talking about my true feelings, my first impressions, what I really think about this palette, if it's worth the buy, just different things about the palette that I like, or dislike, you never know. So be sure at the end, if you're interested, to watch that portion. But let's jump into the makeup right now. Here is the finished look. I love this. It's my favorite look out of the whole palette. So to start, I always start with my primer. So it's not technically a real primer, but I use it for that purpose. This is Sandstone Pearl ShadowSense by Sandstone. It is the best thing I've ever used as a primer because it's crease proof. It makes all my other powders stick to it and last all day. Okay, to start with, I'm going in with my flat brush to the color Vintage. It's a beautiful white pink color, and I am just kind of highlighting that brown bone area, and I do take some setting spray and spray my brush just to make that color a little pigmented. It can be a little powdery if you're not careful, so this just helps matte everything down. Okay, next for my transition shade, I'm going to pick up Innocent. It's seriously my favorite color out of the whole palette. I love it. And I'm just taking it on my tapered blending brush by Real Techniques and just kind of blending that all over into my crease in windshield wiper motion. And this just helps ensure that it blends really nicely. I'm pretty sure I use this color as a transition shade no matter what look I'm using for the palette, because I love it that much. If you want to learn more about transition shades and other techniques, be sure to watch my video for beginners. I will link it down below for you. Okay, to darken up my crease, I am just taking Whimsy and I'm just warming up that crease just a little bit before I go in a little darker. You want to warm up the area first so it's more of a gradient gradual effect. Next, to darken up my crease, I'm taking a little bit of Whimsy and Smoked on my Essential Crease brush by Real Techniques. I love this brush because it is small yet fluffy and it can really precisely fit into my crease and it just blends out the color lovely. So then I'm taking my bigger fluffy brush by Ulta, and I just use that with no product to blend everything back out again, just because I do not like harsh lines, of course. And I just do this little dance where I go back and forth with the smaller brush, the bigger brush, and build that color up until it is as dark as I would like it to be. Okay, next for my lid, I'm taking the beautiful color Ethereal, this beautiful bronzy color, and I sprayed my brush with some setting spray, and I'm doing this to make the metallic color really pop. And I also am pushing it or patting it on my eyelid. I'm not blending it out super well because I want it to be really pigmented. Now I'll go back in with that little shader brush again and just blend the eyelid color to the darker crease color. To smoke out my lower lash line, I'm taking Whimsy and Smoked and just smudging that in my lower lash line. This will create a smokier effect to your eyes, and if you don't use eyeliner like me on the bottom, it helps bring a little color down there as well. To brighten up the inner corner, I'm going in with this little eye crease brush from e.l.f. and spraying it with some setting spray, and with the color Glam from the palette, I'm just pushing that in my inner corner and smudging that in my lower lash line on the bottom as well. I really love this color to help brighten up the inner corner. Next, to contour, I'm taking LipSense in the color Bronze, and I'm using a contour brush by Real Techniques. You'll see here I'm using the tiniest dot just to chisel out my cheekbones just a little bit more, and I blend in backward motions always, because if you go forward and pull it too close to the center of your face, it tends to get muddy and not look as good. And then I put a little on my forehead, just kind of naturally where the sun hits. If you know me, you know I don't really do heavy contouring, so this is what I do every day. As luck would have it, I do not have my ShadowSense with me. I usually use Mulberry, so I'm going to use what I have, which is Milani Blush and Tea Rose, and I'm just putting that on the apples of my cheek and blending backwards again. Okay, so off camera I did some bottom mascara, duh. I did eyeliner, and then I used my favorite falsies at the moment, the Vegas Night Eyelure Shining Star. So these are my favorite as of right now. And then I topped it off with my favorite LipSense in the world, which I've got like 45, 50 colors. I've got a lot, I've tried a bunch. And this is by far my favorite. It's so easy to apply. It's a gorgeous, bright, purpley pink. It looks really purple here, but in the natural light, it'll be a little more pink. So, love it. That was it. Thanks for watching the makeup portion of this tutorial. Now we're going to jump into the first impressions of this palette, so stay tuned. First impressions, that's what I mean. Hashtag mom brain, right? Let's get to the first impression about this bad boy here, the Tarteist Pro. First of all, I love the packaging. You all know I love my Modern Renaissance palette, and I think the package is super cute on that one too, because it has like a velvety case, but at the same time, it like can flip open and things can happen to it. So I really appreciate that this is a hard, can you hear that? This is a hard case. I love black and gold together. It's classy. I like, because I have a little girl, I always keep my palettes away from my daughter because I know she will just like throw them on the floor, right? So I always make sure I do that, but I like that it has a really secure clasp. So if you're traveling or whatever, it shouldn't come undone. It should just be good to go, and the harder case will protect it. I love this. You can see my setup in my messy bathroom. But I love that it has this big mirror, and that when I do my makeup, a lot of the times I'll just hold it up. And so if you're on the go or you're on vacation and you don't have like a mirror, someone's in the bathroom or something, you can use this mirror. I love that. I'm a huge fan, I'm a huge fan of all the matte colors. I was a little nervous because there are mixed reviews on this palette. People love it or hate it. I feel like there's no in between. Maybe there is, maybe it's a soft dislike, but I do like it. The first time I tried it, I don't know if it's the color combination, and there's some complaints about the colors getting muddy, which they definitely do get muddy if you're using a lot of these mid-range colors. So see how there's rows of four. Down the middle, if you're using a lot of the middle shades, like one right after another layering on top, they do tend to get a little bit muddy, to be honest with you. But if you're picking one color or you're blending it with the darker, like how I was doing the wispy with the smoked, you should be fine and good to go. There's good separation in the color. I always use my Sandstone Pearl as a primer, which you saw me do in the beginning of this video. And so I honestly have not used another primer with this, but I feel like any palette or shadow of the powder base, my Sandstone Pro makes it last like all freaking day long. And so I'm not sure, honestly, if you're using a different primer. I wouldn't know because I'm like hardcore all about that little gem that I found. And what is going on with this hair? Sorry guys. So I do love it. I love mattes, like I said in my video. I like shimmer on my lid and a little bit on my brow bone, but I do not like shimmer at all in the crease. And so I appreciate that these are all matte colors. I love the purples, the pink, the one pinky purple, but mostly I love the deep plum colors over here and the purple. I don't know why I've been on a purple kick lately, but I have been on it, clearly, look. So I'm kind of amazed that I didn't do a purple. I like that each row, if you're not a good makeup artist, let me rephrase that. If you're a beginner and you're not quite sure which colors to use for transition shades, I like that you can basically pick a row and go to town. I always use these wider shades for my brow bone highlight, but you could certainly just follow straight across. Use this on your lid, use one of these two as your transition shade, and then the dark shade for your crease. And then you can pop the shimmers. They're called duochromes. Minx is pushing it. Minx could be a duochrome. Duochrome means they're two different pigments, like colored pigments. And Trendy is gorgeous. It's this bluey color right here. And I would say it's like a bluey purple. That one is a duochrome, but the others are just shimmers. So if you're getting it and you want a duochrome, this is probably like, don't get your hopes up. They are gorgeous colors, don't get me wrong. I love them all. I love my shimmer. I love Minx, love Glam, love Ethereal. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Ethereal. I haven't used Trendy yet. It's the only one I haven't used. I haven't used really this bottom row. Maybe I will do a look, but yeah, these three aren't really duochrome. There's not really two pigments. They're pushing it, but they're gorgeous shimmers regardless. So overall, I am saying I like this palette. The first time I used it, like I said, I did not like it. And so I was like, dang it, I bought this and I don't like it. But then I gave it another chance. Like I started watching other reviews to see what other people were thinking. And once I found like positive, you know when you hear a lot of negative things, it like pulls you down, just with like anything in life. And so I had heard so much negativity about this palette that it kind of brought me down. And then I watched some reviews where people loved it and it just like lifted my spirits. I'm like, okay, let's try this again. And I love it. I honestly do. I love all the mattes. So I would recommend this to someone, especially if you love mattes. Go ahead, and this is great. I actually got this 30% off. Tarte was having a sale. And so I got 30% off. So I'm like, okay, let's give it a go. Let's try it. And so yeah, Tarteist Pro. This is my first palette or shadows that I've used from Tarte, and I do like it. So if you like to see more videos like first impressions, let me know. And as I'm getting new product or as I'm trying out different looks and products, I can let you know like my true feelings. Like I told you straight up, I didn't like it at first. And then I tried it a few more times and I'm obsessed with it now. So I will give you my honest review. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.